Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the November love reading for the sign of Capricorn. Alright, my lovely Capricorns. Now, this is of course going to be for anybody who has a Capricorn aspect in their Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus position. Possibly even the Mars position, of course, Mars and Venus. In either case, just take what applies to you, Capricorn. This reading can't possibly be for everyone. And if it doesn't apply, just let it fly. All right, guys? We will, at the end of this Celtic spread, I will pull 4 more cards from the Thoth deck just for clarifiers. And let's get right into it, Capricorn. I've already been shuffling and meditating on your cards for quite a while before I started filming. So we can get right into your spread. All right, the center card is 4 of Pentacles, covered by the 6 of Cups. All right, your above position, your conscious position, you have a 9 of Swords. And in the back of your mind, unconscious position, what motivates you is the Wheel of Fortune. You have a 7 of Pentacles is the energy you're coming into the month with, and you round off the month with, come out of the month rather with the Hanged Man. All right, now your energy coming in is 2 of Wands, and the energy that meets you is 8 of Cups. 2 of Swords are your hopes and dreams, and 3 of Cups is your outcome, ultimate or possible outcome for the month. All right, guys. Excuse me. Bottom of the deck, we have a 9 of Wands. So far, we already have the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Wands. So that really talks about a state right now, Capricorn, where you're coming to a completion, right? But this is kind of the lonely period before you complete something. It's the last little hurdle in a lot of ways. But we're going to get right into it. All right, Capricorn? So right in the center, we have 4 of Pentacles covered by 6 of Cups. So some of you this month have financial worries. All right, you have heavy financial worries. I'm going to say that, Capricorn, some of you have a relationship that is depending on a certain amount of financial stability in this month. You're feeling really threatened, right? You're feeling like your financial stability is threatened. 4 of Pentacles talks about a threat to, because 4 is the number for stability. So it talks about either a fear of your finances losing their stability, or in another case, sometimes this card is identified as greediness in a way, holding on for dear life, right? Holding on to the stability of money to a degree that is greedy, stingy, selfish, right? But I think more than anything, 4 of Pentacles is really a reaction to when we feel like something's about to happen. We may be having problems at work, or our job may be threatened for some reason, right? Finances simply may be tight right now, or whatever the case may be, but you are covered with a 6 of Cups. So this is for a Capricorn who's in a really lovely connection. Your connection is wonderful. It's a 6 of Cups connection. I want to say for some of you, this is this love month is not so much about problems in the love area, but more so with problems about money. All right, problems about money, finances, and money, and it is affecting your love life or your relationships, of course, right? However, this nice energy of 6 of Cups, it's a very harmonious home life that you have, a very harmonious energy that you have in your relationship. And I would probably say that the person you're with is probably the type of person who is always telling you, you know, honey, don't worry about the money, we can make it. Or, you know, they're probably, I feel like this is for the Capricorn, is probably with a very positive sort of relationship partner, or you're in a relationship with a very positive person, you know, the connection is very sweet and dear and sincere. And regardless of the money issues, I think right now it's more of a case that you just feel bad because you can't do the things you want to do for your lover or for your family right now. 9 of Swords is in your forefront, so you're feeling very guilty, anxious, you have anxiety. I'm not saying that you have any reason to feel guilty, but you feel guilty. 9 of Swords is having sleepless nights, worrying about things, worrying about what you could have done, what you should have done. You know, how did I get myself into this mess, right? I think for some of you, it may be a case of you got yourself into some kind of financial difficulty, and you may not even be telling your partner about it because you're worried that they're going to be upset or that it's going to ruin the harmonious home life that you already have. In the back of your mind, there's a Wheel of Fortune, though. So I want to say for some of you, you feel as though an opportunity is coming in. You have this inkling that opportunities are coming in. Wheel of Fortune generally comes in when fate is shining its light on you, right? In a positive way. However, here, we're talking about this card being in the back of your mind. Now, I think for some of you, this is not necessarily maybe what's happening, but you think it's happening. In the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking, okay, you know, the wheel's going to turn. Fortune is going to come into my favor at some point, right? And I think you're counting on that, but you're worried about it in the front of your mind. It could be that for some of you, you may have invested some money thinking it was a sure deal, or you may have done something with your money thinking that, or being sold an idea that was a surefire moneymaker or what have you. Because it's interesting that the Wheel of Fortune would be in your unconscious position. It's not necessarily so much that you have an intuition that money is coming in, because that's not the interpretation, and that's not what the position is about. It's more of a case that, Capricorn, for some of you, you may have been counting too much on a long shot. Or you may have been putting too many, like all of your eggs into one basket, and you were depending on that, and it's not necessarily come through as quickly as you would like, or the way that you would like, Capricorn. And so now you have this threat. You come into the month really reevaluating a lot of your accomplishments and the fruit of a lot of your labor. You're really trying to. It's quite interesting, Capricorn. You enter the month like just looking back on everything that you've done and wondering, is it enough? It could very well be that that's what's prompted you to get into whatever this scenario was because you felt like perhaps what you had was not enough. I want to say that for some of you, Capricorn, it could very well be that you had this feeling, you looked over everything, you know. You looked over all of your the fruit of your labor, right? You looked over all of your like financial accomplishments, right? Material accomplishments. And I think one of the reasons why you've done that is because of this really nice love connection that you've entered into. This may be a new connection, or it may be a connection that's been going on for some time. But I think for some of you Capricorns, there's been a pressure there, a little bit of a pressure in a sense that, you know, you may have been feeling some self-esteem, or, you know, you may have been undervaluing what you were bringing to the table, right? Because this month you enter with this real melancholy kind of like, you know, this is what I have. Is it going to be enough? You know, I'm trying this venture or this investment, and now I have all of this worry about it. And you end the month with a Hanged Man, which is a feeling of waking up to the fact that perhaps you haven't been putting your best foot forward, or perhaps you've been stuck in some way, right? I want to say for some of you this month, I think you're going to wake up to the fact that you've been really, I'm going to say you've been a bit remiss, or this could also be a case of maybe dropping the ball, right? Something happened somewhere along the line, Capricorn. For some of you, you may have dropped the ball on something, or you feel like you dropped the ball. Certainly, by the end of the month, you realize that you definitely did. I mean, this regret and this worry is only natural. I'm saying this is mostly coming from the financial problem. But I think later on this month, you really find out why you have this financial problem. And you're going to realize it's because you didn't take action in some area. It could be that you didn't take action at work. It could be, an example could be that you work with friends or relatives, you gave them a job, hooked them up in your business or something like that, thinking it's going to turn out all right, right? That you're giving them this chance and they're really good at what they do and it's going to be great. And then you kind of find out later on, because you weren't really paying attention to them or supervising them enough, or in some area you weren't doing enough of what you should have been doing as an owner, you find out that they now have done something that screws you, right? It screws your money over, screws your business over. or something has happened because you haven't been supervising the position. Do you see what I'm saying? It could very well be a scenario like that. But it's very much, that's an example of what I'm talking about. You took a risk. With this Wheel of Fortune, I think you very much took a risk on something or someone with regard to your finances. But I think you find out later on that there was more work that you should have put in to make sure that your finances remain stable. And I think you wake up to that. And it's okay. That's a normal thing. It's just kind of like realizing the mistakes that you've made, right? I don't think this is a case of you necessarily having done something wrong or purposely having, done something nefarious or, or mean or evil or whatever. I think you took a chance on something. And I think the chance that you took was meant for the common good. It was meant for their good and your good. It wasn't a case, I want to be clear, I don't want to say that it was not a case of you taking advantage or anything like that, but I feel like something happened along the line that, you thought was going to be a good thing. It was a risk, but you really felt there, you had good intentions about it. And you wake up later on finding out that really, you should have done more. You may not have paid them enough attention. You were a little bit naive or stuck in a particular area where you should have put more effort in. You come into the month with the Two of Wands, and here's your Eight of Cups, which is what you're met with. And that's quite interesting too, because Two of Wands talks about really wanting to move forward, full steam ahead, right? And again, Two of Wands is very much it's first of all, it's a Mars and Aries energy, but it's very much a new territory, right? You're branching off into new territory, making another step. It's a creative move, right? But you're met with the Eight of Cups, and this Eight of Cups energy that comes back to you is a feeling of, wow, I'm realizing now that some cups aren't worth me pouring that energy into. And that very much speaks back to what I was saying over here, right? I feel like for some of you, right, that's an example of what I'm talking about. If you were helping someone or you took a chance on someone in a particular area, and this makes me more feel like you took a chance on someone and it had an effect on your finances, because you find out later on that through your desire with this Two of Wands, through your desire to be helpful and to do something new and creative and to be enterprising, right? And helping someone, right? In a financial issue, you come back with Eight of Cups, realizing that sometimes you have to set boundaries, and perhaps you've been putting too much into something that ultimately is threatening your financial stability. Ultimately, this move, right? This dynamic that you put this energy into, right? That you realize you had really wasted a lot of your energy in this dynamic, caused a lot of regret. And what you're met with very much is this feeling of like, wow, I just wasted a lot of energy on someone. I just, I realized that, you pour your heart and your energy into a particular dynamic, and if they don't give something back, it's like it really is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your energy, and it really leaves you feeling kind of like tired and drained. And you come out of this realizing that perhaps this was a mistake. This dynamic perhaps was a mistake. Now, again, this is interesting because I want to say for some of you, right, I feel like this could be an outside person. Like you have a nice relationship or connection with someone. Six of Cups, right? Covering this energy, covering is like a feeling that it's a soulmate connection somewhere. Yet, this is what's happened through a dynamic, right? You've been left feeling like this dynamic was not worth all this energy. So it's quite strange to me. It could very well be that you find this out about this relationship, right? That on the surface, it's very happy and all of this, and you guys are building memories and it's affection and all that. But really what you find out this month is all of this, right? That there's been problems with money that you haven't been paying attention to. Or it could be that you do indeed have you're in a relationship with a really nice love connection. But like I said in the beginning, having trusted someone else, like perhaps your lover's relative, right? Or one of your relatives, having trusted a different person or brought, I want to say, a different person into the relationship in a way, right? Through business and money is affected the relationship this month, right? Because you choose to move away then. Eight of Cups also talks about deciding to put boundaries in place and not to continue to give energy into those empty cups. So you choose to kind of leave that behind, and you choose for a deeper level of connection. So now if this is a case of this being an outside party, then it's a case of you turning your back on this party. It could be, again, that they're your lover's relative or one of your relatives or a very good friend, and you decide to end this relationship. But for this, for this to come out in the love reading, Capricorn, it has an effect on your love connection, right? And this, like I said, it's either going to be your love connection that you have this with, or it's going to be somebody very close to them. Right? I would doubt that it is even somebody close to your family. I'm almost going to say that it's somebody close to your lover's family because it's impacting your relationship with your lover, right? You come out, interestingly enough, your hopes and fears is Two of Swords. You're feeling like you have to make a choice. Now you're faced suddenly with a choice where you have to choose between one or another, and you feel like, you know, you can't make the choice. Again, this feels like a second party to me, right? Because now it's a case of, well, do I keep putting up with this person for the sake of my lover because it's their brother or their sister, or, you know what I mean? Like somewhere along there's a choice like that. Or do I say no to this person who sucked me dry, who's caused me all kinds of financial hardship, and then end up losing my lover also? A lot of this is because of this hangman energy where you wake up to the fact that you really didn't do enough policing, I want to say, or supervising of this. But whatever the case may be, you fear having to make a choice, and you also want to make a choice because I think for some of you, you want to leave whoever this connection was behind. And like I say, I feel very strongly, I'm going to be very honest with you, and this can be vice versa, and you can resonate with different roles in this reading, and they could be switched around a little, but I think more than anything, this is about a connection, Capricorn. You have a soulmate connection with somebody you care very dearly for, and you're trying to help out somebody else that they also care very dearly for, and it's really affecting your relationship. It's crossing a lot of boundaries into your relationship. It's affected your money this month. However, you do end on a Three of Cups, which is kind of a celebration. And I want to say for some of you, right, if this is the case, if you resonate with this, Two of Swords talks about really finding balance and not making a choice. Oftentimes we feel like we have to make a choice, and when we can't make a choice between two things that are extremely important to us, the truth that we find is that it's more about finding a balance. And this is indeed the case. Capricorn, if you can find a balance between this connection and maintaining your love connection with your soulmate, you'll be celebrating. Three of Cups is a celebration of the community, that your nation, your community, your culture, your tribe, your family, your friends. It's a coming together of like minds, and 3 is the number for bonding and loyalty and unity. This could very well be that this comes out well, and you guys are even deeper and closer, and the bonding is deeper and closer if you find the right balance, right? You don't necessarily have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Again, this was a case of already like not paying enough attention to begin with, or else this scenario wouldn't have gotten as bad as it is, right? So remember that now that it is here, you don't necessarily have to make an extreme choice. You can go back to trying to find a balance, which is what should have been done here with the Hangman anyway. 9 of Wands talks about a period of time in a particularly difficult struggle or path or stage in your life when you realize you've been taking on too many burdens and responsibilities, and you get ready to lay it down. You're not quite there yet with the 10 of Wands, which is when you'd be ready to lay it down and move on. But you're at least waking up to the fact that this path is not a good path, and it's not one you want to be on anymore. And so it's the beginning of realizing it's time to end it, right? And that's what 9 of Wands talks about. And this very much is a feeling of like, You know, this may indeed be an ultimatum. Some of you may be in a relationship where you've had a relative living with you, with your family, with your wife and children, and they've been a fucking pain in the ass. You know what I mean? They've been a pain in the ass. They've been draining your money. You don't have enough money to support them. You know what I mean? This could be a real kind of situation like that. And you let it slide. You let it slide. You let it slide with the hangman. But now you kind of realize, oh shit, with that 9 of Wands, you're like, yeah, I realize now this is really a problem. This is really causing me more and more problems. Look at me. I'm all battered. My money is all fucked up. You know, it's time for me really to get ready to lay down this burden. This is not a burden for me to carry. I shouldn't have to take care of somebody else's family or friends if it's going to impact my life this negatively. All right, Capricorn. So I feel like this is a very specific message for some of you. Let's go ahead. I've been shuffling the Thoth deck while this last bit while we've been talking. I'm going to pull some clarifiers. Yeah, if you're living in one of these situations, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe in necessarily putting up with fucked up relatives if it's going to impact my relationship. You know, once you're with somebody, and certainly once you're married and have children, that's your family. And, you know, in as much as you can help your extended family, great. But when extended family, friends, or whatever, you know, become a burden that ends up disrupting your household, it's time to get rid of it. Death, there you go. Get rid of it. Princess of Swords, the Tower, there you have it, and the Knight of Wands, there you go. At the bottom of the deck is Two of Cups. You know, there's an immense amount of love between you and your person. The love is there. You don't want to lose them. You know, you really don't want to lose your person. I don't think this is at all about your relationship. There's your Three of Cups again, right? Which is the same as this one. So the bonding and loyalty is coming in, all right? But, yeah, this is not about you and your person, but this is about mitigating factors that are affecting your relationship. There we have Nine of Swords. It's time to end this death and transformation. This is the Death card in the Thoth deck. And, of course, yeah, it's clarifying that enough is enough. You've had enough sleepless nights, enough worrying, enough anxiety. This situation absolutely has to change. It has to go through a death. And this is the time, right? This November is going to be the time. And yes, it will be a little bit rocky for your actual love relationship, but I think you're going to weather the storm. That's in your forefront. You know already it needs to happen. In the back of your mind, Princess of Swords is in. And Princess of Swords talks about standing your ground. Right? Look at her. She's fighting on that little perch. She's fighting off all kinds of obstacles. Swords being the suit for the mind and communication, right? And Princess is the same as a page. So very practical. It's the earthy aspect of air. So this is in a very practical way, fighting off negative energy, fighting off obstacles, you know, to maintain your position. Right? To maintain, learning how to, you know, defend yourself with your words, right? Learning how to very practically, you know, come up with solutions that maintains your stability. These are all the beginning stages of mastering the swords. And that's why Page of Swords is about that. Page of Swords is about, you know, the initial conversations and the initial, you know, thinking that goes into starting to solve a solution, right? It's the beginning stages of being able to stand up for yourself and defend yourself and debate somebody and go toe-to-toe in communication or in a conversation with somebody, right? That's the Princess of Swords. It's the beginning. So you feel like you're ready. You feel like nothing's really going to stop you. You did what you could with this Wheel of Fortune. You took a risk. And you meant for it, you know, you did it for the best possible reasons. I think you wanted to be for someone a Wheel of Fortune. You wanted to give someone an opportunity. I think that was really what it is. You wanted to be their Wheel of Fortune, and they ended up fucking it up. Seven of Pentacles is covered by the Tower, so you know the Tower talks about realizing that, you know, everything you thought, you know, your disorderly idea you had of the world and yourself is wrong. And I think this is the wake up that you have, that you come into the month with, is the wake up call that, you know, everything that you look at, everything you've accomplished. And I don't think it's enough for you, because I think for you realize that all of this has not been what you really wanted, because you've been so burdened down with this other responsibility. And this is an awakening. The Tower moment is an awakening. And I think this is one of the reasons why you wanted to change so badly, because you're waking up, Capricorn. A lot of you are waking up to the fact that uh, your goals and aspirations for you and your life and your loved one have really suffered and have been sacrificed to help somebody else out, and you realize that it can't go on, right? You know, and I think a lot of it is like really when you really reevaluate everything that you have, I think that you realize that you could have had so much more, and it's a real wake up call. Hanged Man comes in, right, and it is covered by the Knight of Wands. So the Hanged Man, where you thought, where I said before, right, you wake up to the fact that you weren't really applying yourself. You were very much in Hanged Man energy, being very leisurely and laissez-faire, not really giving a shit. And not so much that you didn't give a shit, but you weren't really on top of things. It could also be that you just let a situation carry on for a while that was too mentally straining and emotionally straining to fight, right? And that's a lot of times when we're in Hanged Man energy too, is when we just can't be bothered anymore because it's too much on our psyche. But the Knight of Wands comes in, and you wake up to this, and you absolutely turn around, basically. The Hanged Man absolutely turns around for you. You wake up and you embody Knight of Wands energy, which is really an unstoppable fire, an unstoppable desire to accomplish this task, which I think is a burning off of this burden and responsibility you have with this person that is now really beginning to affect your relationships and your love connection. All right, guys, this is it. I'm going to call it. This is your reading for November, Capricorn. Very, very strong. Hangman actually gets turned around and turns into the Knight of Wands, which is really strong, beautiful, forward momentum. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Capricorn. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. All of that stuff helps my channel to grow. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All of the links are in the description. You can book a private reading. That link is also in the description and at the top of your screen. But for right now, guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful November. I'll see you in the middle of the month for your mid-month love check-in. Bye-bye now.